Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the VGL qualifiers. We are here for a special matchup tonight. We are running Vaughn Menace versus Kinetic. This match couldn't happen last night due to a little last-minute scheduling difficulty. So we got everything set up, got it rescheduled, and decided to bring it today so we could show you that match. With me here tonight, I've got Rome, I've got Forecourt Jester, and I've got Tasty Bacon joining me. So we're doing bans right now for this match, and I'm going to kick it over to Rome while we handle bans, get the bans and picks done, and get right into this match tonight. So just so you know, you're not going to see what you normally see on VGL. We're just kind of kick it over, get the matches going. This is going to be all going over by Rome in a second, and we'll get right into it as quick as we can tonight. And we just wanted to bring this match to you on stream if possible, so we're here to do that for you. So Rome, if you're here, go ahead, and if you want to set this match up a little, talk about what we've got going on tonight.
So yeah, today we have the final match in this bracket to see who goes on next week to be able to fight in the last four teams. On the side of Team Kinetic today, we have Fear Poseidon, Huskies Rock 321, and Bonfire. And with the side of Vaughn, it's their roster that we've been seeing time and time over again. And this is like the core to their synergy. We have Love Ice Forever, Phoenix, and Von C. To start off the bans today, what they took was they looked back last week, Team Kinetic. They saw how Von C was able to handle that Taka, especially when he was to be able to prioritize those very squishy heroes and take them out of the picture. So they start off with the Taka ban first, and in return, Von C decides to ban Vox. So what I'm thinking here is they're probably going to be running a bunch of comfort picks. They came to this ahead of time. With Kinetic is they have to look at Team Vaughn. They need to know exactly how to counterplay against them. I'm thinking if they don't get this early game laner and they're not able to apply that pressure, without them being able to rotate down, they are going to run into a lot of trouble. Team Kinetic decides to pick Vox first, followed by Sky and Black Feather for Team Vaughn. Followed up with Team Kinetic is Kath and Adagio. So with Kath, Adagio, and Vox, I'm assuming that they're going to be doing that double roamer strategy again, where they have the Adagio coming out of that jungle, building a lot of CP, and they're going to bank it all on top of this Vox. To follow that up and finish it off, Vaughn decides to go off with an Arden. So Sky, Blackfeather, and Arden, what can we expect from them? These guys are going to play very strong in the jungle early game. They're going to keep applying that pressure, making sure that as long as Blackfeather gets farmed into the late game, they're sure to win. With coming to this game, Team Kinetic has to make sure that they are able to rotate on time. That's one of their core strategies. If they're getting caught out of position, Team Vaughn will be for sure very objective hungry. They'll make sure those plays are effective. And with their efficient core style of play, with their synergy, I'm pretty sure they're going to take advantage as much as they can. But we'll pass it off to Tasty Bacon and Forecourt Jester while we start this game off.
And Tasty Bacon and Forecourt Jester are going to get this. We're kicking off this match right now. The teams are in Hero Select, and so Forecourt Jester, Tasty Bacon, take this match away, and I'll see you guys at the end of the match.
I got, I was so used to not actually starting until we were in game that I was just like, it's just wired into my brain that was when I have to start talking. So I was just like, oh, all right, they're doing the picks, and then we'll just wait up and we'll see. We'll just pick it up from there. But nope, it was just like, all right, here we go. So as we can see, we do have, someone getting stuck. Apparently having a client issue as we've been kicked back to the party screen. So,
but looking at this composition, what do you guys think so far? Seeing that Adagio Vox combination and how much Adagio is able to dish out that buff onto Vox, we've seen the damage before. What do you think Vaughn is going to do to counteract against this?
Honestly, really, Vaughn is just gonna have to try and they're going to be able to use the sky early on to pressure the fact that Vox is very weak early game. But of course, you also then have Blackfeather, who's kind of in that same boat, fairly weak early on, but just gets obscenely strong the later the game goes. So both teams really do have that nice mix that I like to talk about, having a really strong early game combined with that really strong late game to try and snowball up into that late game stage for Blackfeather or Vox, depending on which team you are here. So it should be a really interesting matchup, but I do have a feeling that Von C on this Blackfeather is going to make it work just a little bit stronger in the early game than what we're typically seeing, just because he's shown so many times that he is just absolutely dominant on really no matter who he plays.
Yeah, Von C as the Von Menace sort of superstar. I mean, so far we've seen him just absolutely dominant pretty much on everything. So, yeah, he has a lot of expectations coming into this one. Kinetic has really this steep mountain to climb, and already you can see Fear Poseidon is really just not winning these trades despite the fact that he has a little bit of distance here on Von C. It's just those pokes are immeasurable. Into the jungle, though, Love Ice Forever is going to find Huskies here. The Phoenix is trying to protect him. I don't think he's going to get off into that Vanguard. No, he's just too far away. Instead, he just turns around, gets off that uppercut, and now could they actually go for Poseidon? Von C is there. We'll find the slow. Love Ice is just not going to catch that one. So I think our Vox is going to be A-okay, but already early pressure everywhere, and 1 kill to the Von Menace crew.
Yeah, not only the early pressure everywhere, but actually going to continue that pressure up into the lane. But, the big thing we always talk about with the Von Menace squad is their ability to stick together and roam as one complete unit. And that's exactly what we just saw on that jungle invade and why they were able to get that first kill. But now in the lane, they're just having a bit of a skirmish here. But it is going to be Poseidon having to worry about trying to last hit these minions underneath the turret while still dealing with the damage trade.
Yeah, Von C is just pretty much merciless at this point. He's been landing those on points pretty consistently. You can see Fear. I mean, there's just not going to be a fight here. He does not have the hit points in order to do this, and Von C can really just deal with Huskies as much as he wants. He has Phoenix in his back pocket. They might still actually go for this increased aggression, especially if they find someone out of position. The Vanguard is going to be ready. They find Bonfire, and he just cannot go over those walls. The reposition for Love for Ice is just absolutely flawless, and I think Phoenix should just be able to get this poke, but he's taking so much poke in return. It will be the 1-for-1, and now Huskies, well, another set from Von C and the forward barrage. The Suri Strike is too real. Where's Vox? Yeah, he's back at home there now with the respawn Bonfire. So 2v3 situation, and Von Menace again making things happen.
Yeah, Vox actually had to recall because he had gotten extremely low in the lane, so he really didn't have an option to stick around. If he had tried to, it probably would have been another kill picked up by Von Menace. So, looking at just 3 minutes into this game, Von does have a slight gold lead, about 400 gold, to go along with the 2 kill advantage that they also have picked up. And this is kind of what I'm talking about. Von C on this lane Blackfeather, Blackfeather's a hero that can excel in the lane as long as he's up against another ranged hero, which obviously Vox is, and Vox is also a weaker early game hero, so it just makes Blackfeather excel even stronger to get past his early game weaknesses and into the late game. But now Von C might be on the wrong side of a collapse here, but doesn't look like he will spot it out and is going to be able to retreat back into the lane safely.
Now, nobody here is level 6. We don't have those ultimates ready to go yet. Phoenix and Love Eyes are going to be drawing some fire here from the crew, but it's more of just kind of awkward footsies at this point. Forward Barrage would take out a little bit there of Huskies, but, with that Adagio, the heal, it's pretty much just there in place. Von C has been dealing with the minion wave that was, pretty heavily pushed up. He kind of, even froze it right there. He does bait Fear Poseidon into coming in, and he loses a big chunk of health. Now here comes the hive mind mentality again. The 3-man stun, it's just not even funny anymore how quickly these guys can react and make these kills happen. 4-1, and now with that no Vox, this jungle pressure is just going to start mounting.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a difficult situation for them to deal with, because honestly, Von once again showing their typical playstyle of moving as a unit and controlling the map with those tactics. They have vision of various important brushes, but the ward or the scout traps are still in spots where they're not completely likely to get stepped on, as Phoenix is going to be taken down very low and will actually fall. A nice job there by Kinetic to get that collapse and take advantage of the one time that Von Menace is not together as 3 members.
Yeah, it was a nice 2v3 pickup right there. As soon as they saw that Arden was just too close, they took it. A big death from above, however. They might be able to take this as a 1-for-1, and they will. Love Ice Forever is still actually alive. And with that lock-on bonus and the forward barrage, there's just no escaping there for the Catherine. And what looked like a disadvantage just got instantly turned on its head, looking for those level 6s here, because Love Ice Forever with that 7, you saw the death from above. He just came straight down. Already the reverse had been used as well. There was no counter to just kind of jumping on top of the Kinetic crew right there. And Von Menace pick up 2 more kills.
Yeah, 6-2 now, just under 6 minutes into this game. So we're getting that, kill a minute pace, or over the kill a minute pace for the game, but a kill a minute pace for Von Menace that we love talking about. That's how you know a game is really aggressive, when you are at that kill per minute average. So if Von Menace can keep this pace up, it really does seem like Kinetic just isn't going to be able to deal with that kind of speed and rotations that comes out from them. As Phoenix makes his way back up into the lane, Husky's Rock is there as well. They are going to find each other and just duke it out a little bit, but I don't think too much is going to happen, especially with Bonfire coming up to join the party. But you see this, as soon as they know that there's multiple members there, they get together as 3. They rotate down into the jungle, and now they look for a pick on Kinetic as they go for a retreat.
Well, I mean, that death from above right there is going to do some work to keep Bonfire just sort of in the position of, that kill potential. And there he goes. He will drop it. Von C going a little bit too far for it, however. And they will actually end up for a 1-for-1. Surrey Strike around, looking for the kill on Huskies. And yes, it will actually happen. The Vanguard coming in just to keep Love Ice Forever going. And Fear Poseid not willing to try to duke out into that 2v1. He's just going to be playing it safe, keeping there at that turret of his. Now, it's not going to be an ace if he does go for it, but look at Love Ice Forever. He just really, with that positioning, he really wants to bait this, but a Vanguard could just easily turn it around, and if Vox used the Sonic Zoom to go in, well, he'd have nothing to get out, and it probably wouldn't have gone his way, so good restraint coming out of him.
And the type of play that we're seeing from Von is play that we've seen from the other top teams. Obviously, Alliance is probably one of the biggest users of the frequent turret diving strategy. If they know how much damage the turret does, they know how much they can get away with, and they just go diving underneath the turret, get their kills, and then go make something happen. Unfortunately for Von there, it was a little bit too deep. Von C did fall for that, so they really weren't able to make anything happen off of it. But that second kill that they got, Love Ice Forever, they knew just how much damage Love Ice Forever could take, and that Ardent Shield kept him alive after they picked up the kill. It's just really, really strong knowledge of the game to be able to make plays like that. But now Phoenix going to get caught out on his own a bit, but he's started to pick up some tanky stats, so he's going to be okay.
Yeah, if they actually went in on him, I mean, we got a gold miner right there. Look at the positioning here. They really want to make sure that he gets enabled. He does have that minion candy. We also got the scout trap down there, so this is an actual minefield for Kinetic. The burst is not going to go off. It was actually channeled out, and they will get Phoenix. It looks like by the end of it, Kinetic 2 for 2, 3 for 2. They get themselves an ace. Doesn't matter that the gold mine was there. Doesn't matter that we had all the scout traps out and about. Bonfire and that collapse, his gift of fire did so much, and I'm pretty sure that burst didn't go off.
Yeah, I don't quite think it, I mean, it did go off, but I'm not really sure how much effect it had. But that's the one thing that Kinetic does have going for them. They have so much more area of effect damage than what Von can bring out. They are much more single target other than the Sky, but now Von C trying to make the solo outplay, gets the help from Phoenix, but does go down to the turret in the end. A bit of a mistake, going a step too far, and now you see the immense amount of damage that is coming out from actually a weapon power Vox. This is a Vox build that we do not see very frequently, but it's definitely working out for Kinetic right now, as now they get the turret and look for another kill.
Yeah, Love Ice Forever is there, death from above, but he's only really hitting the capture, and with this lock-on bonus, yeah, Surrey Strike and another forward does get dodged out. One more shot Can he actually pick this one up? That's going to be Merciless Pursuit. We got those boots, and he goes right into Fear Poseidon. Von C now just coming in Lemming style. Can he go for this kill? I don't think so. Bonfire's there now with that support. They have their captain for a stun. This could just not go their way, and all of a sudden, 9 kills to 11. Don't know what Von Menace is doing, but they are just getting absolutely trounced. Phoenix actually picks up for the 1-1, but Huskies and Bonfire are still going to be able to do at least a little work here in the jungle.
And a lot of this is just coming out of the build by Fear Poseidon. Going for this weapon power, Vox has enabled the Adagio crystal power build, which is obviously really the only way that Adagio is going to be super useful. But you have Adagio powering up the damage that Vox is doing with the red build, and the amount of hurt his auto attacks provide, especially when you get a Sonic Zoom, which he has maxed out and overdriven. A Sonic Zoom with the buff from Adagio on it, if those two attacks hit, it just does a massive amount of damage. Then he starts bouncing around the team. It just is so much area of effect, huge damage coming out of Vox that he can single-handedly carry this game just on his own merits, because of the fact that it is a Vox, really. That's really all you need. But we'll have to see if Von C can get into this late game, as another fight is breaking out, a big one.
Yeah, and that burst just really keeping Phoenix on basically glued to the spot. Love Ice Forever taking a ton of damage here as well. Von C's already been melted. The Surrey Strike I don't think is going to be enough to help for this reposition. The Merciless Pursuit for the kill, and that is a 3-0. The big just cojones of Huskies rushing in right into the deep of the three of them. And it pays off just absolutely wonderfully. Having Bonfire in that back pocket with the heal, with that gift of fire just burning away everyone, it's almost like Arden is really just not there at all.
Yeah, Arden is having a hard time making things happen. Von C also having a rough go of it. Doesn't have the damage on this build yet. Things can definitely change as soon as he does finish off that breaking point. But with just the Serpent's Mask, it's simply not enough damage output from Blackfeather yet. So Vox kind of started hitting a stride with this weapon power build before Blackfeather was able to. And it was all just in the build path. Vox decided to forego the lifesteal that Von C decided to take, and it has made a huge difference. And all the credit in the world to Kinetic of knowing about that power spike. You know, they have the damage at the moment, whereas Von doesn't. And so they recognize that we have a damage advantage. This is when we need to look for fights, and they're doing it absolutely perfectly.
They have themselves not only a little bit of advantage in terms of the gold, well, sure, actually quite a bit of advantage in the gold. Oh, the happy, sad, happy? Okay. Either way, they gotta be feeling pretty good. Going up against such a big name team like Von Menace and actually holding a lead, especially when pretty much the onus is on them in order to perform. They're actually milking it. They are owning this. And that's not always the mentality that you're going to see when you come up against these big famous teams. There goes the gauntlet, but again, Bonfire, he's looking for the silence combo from the stuns. 1 kill, 2. And that is Love Ice Forever finding himself all alone now against a team that barely took any damage.
And with that stun silence combination, they're able to lock down the members of Von for so long as Love Ice Forever is just going to get completely annihilated there. They're able to lock them down so long that Phoenix died without popping a Fountain of Renewal. That is massive. It's arguably the strongest item in the game at the moment, and not being able to use that active just because you were chain silenced or stunned for the entire duration of a fight. And it's exactly what Kinetic wants to do here. You have Wait for It, you have Blast Tremor, and the Verse of Judgment. All three of them, if used properly, are a chain stun silence combination that will keep you unable to use abilities or activated items for, I don't remember the exact full duration off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's like 5 to 6 seconds if all of them connect in succession. And there's just nothing you can do about that if you can't get the fight started on your own terms, as we're about to have another one break out.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure whose terms is actually starting this one off, but Von C is going to try to dodge around enough, but again, Arden gets immediately wiped out, and the rest of the team is just very shortly following that. That is another ace against one of the top teams here in North America, 19-12. We got the ace buff. There's actually no turret here at the choke point. We can't even go for a Kraken yet, but man, Kinetic is absolutely owning it.
Yeah, and once again, Fountain of Renewal unable to be used. Love Ice Forever didn't even get a reflex block off. Like, they're just being completely shut out here in these fights. They got a really nice lead early on, Von Menace did, but ever since the sort of the 6-7 minute mark, it has been all this Kinetic dominating this game with a really strong performance. And this is a huge upset. I just need to stress again, we talked about it before the match even started, just how strong of a team Von Menace is. They dominated in the second qualifiers for the fall season. They were runners-up in the first qualifier and looked like they had a chance to beat Alliance, who ended up being the world champions. And now Kinetic is just manhandling them.
Kinetic, who's trapped in there with who? The first goes down, stun, silent, ace, the same old song and dance. 22-12, who needs a Kraken? Let's just go end the game right now. Kinetic is just going to surge forward. They're kind of a big deal, I gotta agree. And I think this is just game right here.
This very well could be. They're just melting through these turrets. They don't even care about the backdoor protection shield. It's going to be 5 seconds before anyone is up, but it's going to be less than 5 seconds for that crystal to be destroyed.
Wow.
And Kinetic come in and upset the favorites. Von Menace, 1-0 lead for them. They still have to do it again. And that's going to be the difficult point, is if they can do this for 2 games. Or if Von Menace will get their act together and be able to recover from this. But, that is one of the question marks we've had about Von, really ever since the first qualifier, was how do they handle the mindset of taking a loss? And thus far in their history, it has not been well. So we'll have to see if they can turn it around or not for game number 2.
Well, I want to know from Rome. Rome, what do you do in this situation?
I'll be truthfully honest here, and a couple weeks ago, I actually played against this Kinetic team running this exact same comp. First thing you have to notice out is we saw this Vox go weapon power, and he played it out so well, using his positioning, always kiting backwards, and you saw how Bonfire positioned himself with that Adagio. The other team failed to get an early Crucible. In fact, they didn't even get a Crucible at all, and they got punished. On multiple occasions, this Adagio would just run into the middle, heal himself, and off goes that verse of Judgment, stunning always 3-man at the exact same time. But things that we have to look at is, on the team of Von, they do have a very strong composition in terms of having that Black Feather and that Sky, but they have to look at the other team. With Von C building Serpent's Mask, building Breaking Point, he's building for long sustained fights, but he's going against Vox that is getting buffed up and going weapon power. And with this weapon power, he's pretty much singling out one target at the exact same, one target at a time. And he did it so well. The execution was perfect coming out of Team Kinetic, and they're showing us that they're fighting for their spot here and that they want to make this happen. Going to this next game, on the team of Von, I'm almost guaranteed that they haven't done any bans and picks yet, but they're discussing right now, and they're gonna be trying to single out this Adagio in their ban, just to be able to level out the playing fields quite a bit. Having that Vox and Adagio together is such a big threat, and it's something that we've seen on in Europe on many times and many occasions before. It's always a composition where you're running double roamers and you're pretty much banking everything on this Vox singly. But looking at last game, were there a couple of things that stood out to you guys? Do you think there was anything that Von could have done to improve their gameplay?
Well, dying less would go a long way to it. It just, the hive mind mentality was really just not evident. It started off strong, but then it was just like they went in one after the other, and then they'd already given away the advantage, and then they just got AoE down.
Yeah, I think the big thing was, it wasn't so much that, what Von has to do differently. It's just that Kinetic came out with a much better strategy. They had this big AoE team comp set up, and that's how you counter a team that sticks together all the time? Build a team that destroys people who stick together all the time, and that's exactly what Kinetic did. So, I mean, honestly, with I think with Vaughn having the first pick here, it's going to make things a lot different because now they don't have to ban that Kestrel like they did in game number 1.
That's definitely true, but what they're also gonna have to do is, I'm pretty sure they're very shook up from this last game, and they're gonna try and prioritize getting this Adagio out of the picture. Knowing Vaughn and knowing the compositions that they have played before, you don't see much of Adagio plays in their compositions. It's usually based around either Fortress, a Catherine, and most likely Arden, sometimes even a Finn. But Adagio is something that I don't see coming out too much from them. They like to split out their damage wise, so running the heavy carry in the lane, heavy carry in the jungle is what they excel at. So by banning out Adagio this match, they actually have a really good chance of actually winning. Just sticking to their playstyles, just making that rotation that was giving them that lead last game. But to start off, they got they banned out the Sky, and with Kinetic they banned Blackfeather.
Yeah. I didn't think the Black Feather was really that big a deal. They kind of handled him very well in my eyes.
So what can they do about this next match? Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I can't see the draft right now, but I'm assuming like, I think priority wise they should be able to secure themselves an assassin, making sure they're able to burst somebody down really quick, and as long as they're focused on what they do best and looking at their itemization, especially from last game, they have to figure out where their strong suits are, where their faults are. This is something that they're always very consistent in, and last match just didn't show.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, we do see it is going to be that Kestrel picked up first for Vaughn, and this is a pick that a lot of people have been talking about the Kestrel pick and being so incredibly strong and dominating the meta, but in our games thus far, Kestrel hasn't actually performed all that well. Does have a negative win-loss ratio. I know the last I had checked, which I believe it has changed since then, Kestrel was 2-5 in the round of 16. So definitely, obviously these top teams are showing that they know how to play around a Kestrel and deal with this Kestrel. But, as we did see in the quarterfinals yesterday, or sorry, the round of 16 on Saturday. It wasn't yesterday. It was
No.
Von Menace and Von C in particular. Was a bit of an exception to that. Von C was so dominant on this Kestrel. It was absolutely hands down the best Kestrel play that I have seen. And so now he's going to have that pick again. The next 2 picks coming up from Kinetic were then Ringo and Catherine. So going to be trying to have that early game pressure coming out from this lane Ringo that we've seen a lot.
Yeah, and this is actually a very good situation where they can grab a very strong early game composition. Locking up Koshka would be great for them, but if they were to secure another Adagio out of that jungle, who knows what kind of play that could be replicated from that last game. What we saw from them is that last game was their execution was perfect. So obviously running to this match, they have been taking that time out. They have been making up that practice time. So with the last pick, with the picks coming out of Team Vaughn, we have Vox, we have Arden, and we have what was it? Catherine?
Kestrel.
Kestrel. It's the same kind of composition that they played last week, where we saw that Von C and how he executed that the Kestrel play out of the jungle. He landed ultimates from halfway across the map. This is something that they're gonna have to watch out for. They're gonna have to make sure that they don't get that early game pressure, that they don't make those kind of mistakes again. They have to be able to rotate. They have to be able to execute what they play best and control the flow of the game. But I'll throw it back to you guys and let's get this game started.
All right, thank you very much, Rome. Once again, it's Tasty Bacon alongside Forecourt Jester to bring the action of game number 2. We did see the final pick for Kinetic was indeed a Koshka. So not quite the Koshka Fortress Ringo, so it's the Koshka Catherine Ringo coming out for Kinetic here to try and deal with the Von C Kestrel. That's where I'm going to be keeping my eyes. Obviously, we do, you have to pay attention to the game as a whole, but so much of my attention is going to be on Von C's Kestrel to see if he can have another performance on it like he did in the round of 16 that just completely took over the game from minute 1.
Well, they say that a wounded animal is the fiercest when backed into a corner, and we're going to have to see how the Hive Mind responds to this one. As we keep saying, Kestrel overall, not exactly been a power pick here in this tournament, in this qualifier, but Von C really does make it look good when it happens. I like how Rome said a Koshka, because there is a Koshka, and this early Koshka and Catherine are just taking glimmer shots to the face more and more. But now Koshka, she's going to go back in. Could they actually pick up Von C? No. Once more, he shows us why you take a Kestrel ban up against Von Menace.
And that is going to be 2 kills picked up early. Now they rotate immediately up to the lane. They are a little bit low, but it looks like they still want this. Von C is actually going to barely survive with the help of that Vanguard from Phoenix. So really heads up play by Fear Poseidon, so just, completely shutting the door on that gank attempt.
Might have been a little bit too greedy to go from a 2-0 to a 3, but Phoenix is still trying to really bring down Fear Poseidon. Anything that they can do to chip him away, Love Ice Forever might have an opportunity here in the next few moments in order to try to get that kill and solidify the 3-0. But while they are busy here in lane, Husky's Rock, you can see, is now there as well. He's leaving Koshka to do the solo farm thing, and the speed that a Koshka can clear is definitely something to be feared. So you're going to see some solo experience start amounting to Bonfire, who played that Adagio just super well last round.
And we'll have to see if they can, again, this is the upset really of the tournament. Actually, probably the second biggest upset of the tournament, because we did also see Liberation X, the reigning North American champions, get eliminated very early on in the tournament by a number 8 seed. But now we see Von C with those glimmer shots just chunking out the health of Huskies and Bonfire. Looking for a kill. He's gonna get one.
Yeah, but he's gonna get jumped here. Bonfire on top of Von C. He will eventually take down the Kestrel, but now Phoenix is gonna be in hot pursuit. Does he have the movement speed to actually catch up to Bonfire before the bush? No. And now Bonfire, is he actually thinking of actually fighting this one out? Phoenix not willing to check the bush. So that will be a 1-for-1, and Phoenix will not be able to kind of reclaim a kill on that one. So back to the jungle, back to farming. Ringo up in the lane is actually finding himself by himself, as Love Ice Forever is now on the rotation. But the Vox in lane 27, Ringo sitting at just now 21, and after he cleans up that wave, should be still pretty comparable when it comes to the farm.
Yeah, they are going to be pretty close, but it's, obviously you expect Ringo to actually have the advantage in the lane, but it is just Love Ice Forever farming out extremely well. Did visit the shop there, so he's going to have a bit more items under his belt. Now they're looking for a fight.
All right, so up into that lane, I mean, when you have 3 there, you gotta try to make something happen. Phoenix, he's going to be going forward a little bit with that uppercut. We still need to put that Vanguard on top of Von C. Potions are now going to be out there as well, but Von C just gets deleted. Love Ice Forever with the sprint. He will survive. But again, the rushdown potential of a Kestrel is something to be abused, and that's what we've been seeing time and again.
And actually, they're going to try and get up the kill on Fear Poseidon, but the Ringo damage is able to make that an even 1-for-1. So great job by this Kinetic squad, and they're putting their names on their map. Even if Von Menace manages to come back and win this series, Kinetic has just made themselves a name that people have to respect just off of winning game 1 and putting on a strong performance here early in game 2. Obviously, they could very easily pick up the win here and move on into the semifinals. It is still a tall task because it is this Von Menace squad that they're up against. But right now, very close game. The gold miner is going to go over for a tiny gold payout, which keeps Von within 300 gold of Kinetic. But it's a 300 gold lead for Kinetic at 4 minutes in.
Yeah, and it's not even the kill lead either. Of course, the kills is just really what enables you to take a lot of these objectives. After they got 2 kills, they were able to take jungle. It was a nice read for Vaughn to pick up that gold miner. They said the rotation should be that they're nowhere near it, and actually right they were. So a tiny gold payout for them, but still, I mean, this jungle is pretty much being lived out of here by Kinetic. They are roaming S3 themselves, showing their own hive mind. A little bit more of a mentality here, but no, Von C, he'll find Huskies. I'm a little surprised there was no just immediate stun, but again, the damage mounts. Von C is now going to be on the retreat, and what, again, looks like a good position from Von Menace just gets turned right on its head by Kinetic.
Yeah, Kinetic is doing such a good job of countering the move as a unit playstyle of Von Menace by really just doing it themselves. And they're fighting fire with fire, but their fire is currently a little bit stronger, as they did force Von C to have to go back into his own jungle, where he is going to farm up a bit. He does get spotted by that scout trap, so now they know that they're safe in the lane, and they go for a bit more aggression, just trying to now force Love Ice Forever out of this lane. And that's really all that they keep doing, is they try and pick one target and force them out, or pick up the kill on them, so that it does become a 2v3. But now Huskies is going to be the one caught a little bit out of position. Not quite going to be enough for a kill, though.
Yeah, there's actually nothing really to lock him down here. We don't have that gauntlet, and at the same time, I mean, yeah, Vox will be able to, hit you, but he can't really actually root you in place. Hellfire Brew already goes out, and a huge hit there to Love Ice Forever as well. I don't think Vaughn can fight this, and I think Kinetic knows it. They're going to try to push their luck into it, but we do got a gold mine with that candy. It didn't save Von Menace last time. I actually have to see if they're willing to fight in and around this area. Von Menace actually just gives it up.
Yeah, a lot of flares being used by Kinetic to make sure that they have the vision that they need so that they don't get jumped on by surprise. And now, as they move back up towards lane, we see in the jungle, Kestrel and Von C going at it. That's going to be a yummy catnip frenzy, and it will be a solo kill for Bonfire, picking that one up and then stealing away the camps. This Kinetic team, they're looking like they might be able to pull this off.
Well, they are still holding that gold lead. Minion mine to go down, and now with no candy here on this gold miner, it will slowly start getting chunked away. They don't know where Bonfire is, although you can probably guess. Oh, decent gold payout. That one shot, one kill, not really able to do too much about it. Didn't even need the Kasha. She just keeps going on her merry way farming around, and with 46 creeps to her name and 2 kills, level 8 to boot, this is definitely looking a little sour here early for Von Menace.
Yeah, obviously they do have this Vox, which we saw just how strong Vox can get. Of course, it is a crystal power Vox for Love Ice Forever instead of the weapon power that Fear Poseidon had opted for in game number 1. But now Phoenix is going to find Fear Poseidon now, and with the Gauntlet, will actually lock them in. This is a really nice fight for Von Menace.
Yeah, the Gauntlet just hitting 2 targets there at opposite ends of the spectrum. Now Vox, however, has not lived through this one. There we go with the Glimmer shots. 1 and 2, 3 will come out here for Von C. Just needed to have those shots ready to go, and you saw the damage come out of that. This is a little bit closer to what we normally see from a Von Menace crew. They get themselves what seems like the first ace in several fights. A turret to boot, probably gold miner. They're going to be rotating down, and that will actually put them back into the lead.
Yeah, that was a very good fight for them, and a lot of it was based on that stun that Von C was able to get from the active camo, leaving that trap on the field, and then getting the shot onto Husky's Rock to land the stun, and immediately turn around with multiple Glimmer shots that hit both Husky's Rock and Bonfire. It was very close. Bonfire almost got that one turned around with this Aftershock. Kashka obviously now also building into a broken myth, but oh my goodness, Love Ice Forever just caught out at the shop.
Nice shot there from Von C, though. Does land a pretty big hit there on top of Poseidon. Glimmer shots will find the team. 1 miss, 1 hit. All right, that's cool. Phoenix, however, is still going to be in front here for Von C. Now he wants to give out that vision, but again, damage is just really not amounting to a kill potential here. Phoenix goes a little bit too far forward. Here comes the Hellfire Brew. They're going to go for Von C into the back, or maybe they're just trying to keep him on his toes. Either way, the Kinetic crew, they can just push this up. They've maintained control of that gold mine. They didn't lose it out, and without that turret, they just seem to be happy to do the aggression.
Yeah, and it really looks like they're just trying to keep Von away from the gold mine until it does pay out. They are now going to be a little bit low health, though, because Fear Poseidon did take a lot of damage. The one-shot, one kill, but now Bonfire's going in and is going to find Von C, but doesn't connect with the kill. The Fountain of Renewal is going to keep him alive. One-shot, one kill actually coming through late, so it doesn't get the kill because the target was already dead. But a nice job by Von, the Fountain of Renewal being absolutely clutch to keep Von C alive. And if Koshka gets that instant kill onto Von C, that fight goes the complete opposite direction.
There's another part of that as well, the wait for it from Love Ice Forever. The silence was actually a big part of that double kill going over to Von Menace. So they do, kind of juggle out their ultimates here rather well. Again, this mentality, the hive mind, it really did look broken in game number 1, especially towards the end there with multiple aces against them. But now it's starting to really come back a little bit. You saw not only the combination of the Vanguard, the Life Spring, but also the wait for it and a quick, immediate aggression for 2 kills right there and a gold mine. Again, like this is definitely looking a little bit more on point. I wonder what Kinetic's thinking about a little bit of a resurgence.
Big crit damage onto side of Kinetic there from these glimmer shots. They're going to start coming out. Only getting a little bit of poke. One shot, one kill. Doesn't actually connect. That's going to be a cooldown not available for the next 40 seconds. And right now, Kinetic, they have all 3 ultimates available. It's just a matter of if they can get an opportunity. Here comes Hellfire Brew.
Now it's all going to be on Von C again. We got that big Vanguard going out. Love Ice Forever is a little bit too far forward. The silence, that's going to be a pickoff. Where's the Yummy Catnip Frenzy? There it is. Von, however, out. He's not going to get locked down. The glimmer shots are coming out, but it doesn't matter. He is going to drop Phoenix now in a 2v1. Has the gold miner at his disposal. Where's the gold miner going? It's not helping Phoenix out that much. And it looks like the juggling is going to be good enough. Kinetic could even actually take the gold mine, and the mini candy is just not enough to keep Bonfire off of it.
Yeah, not with that ace buff helping out with the regen there. Bonfire will be able to take the gold miner. No, he gets sniped by one shot, one kill, and the gold miner is saved. Von C with a snipe from the base. We've seen that multiple times. It will never get old to see a play like that.
Well, that's 2 games through 2. He's actually made those kind of plays. Love Ice Forever up into the lane. I don't even think he was worried whatsoever, but a miraculous save to keep these guys and their gold miner a little happier, and they actually still maintain that lead as well. A little bit of pressure can come out to the jungle if there was anything really to pick up, but with all camps down and everybody still here from Kinetic, I mean, it's just not really going to be the time to aggress.
Yeah, they are going to have to be a little bit careful here. Obviously, not the Von C Kestrel has the potential to do a lot of damage, but it has to land properly. We do see the double Fountain of Renewal coming out for Kinetic, and this is something that Von actually ran a couple of times in their previous match to get to this stage. So we'll have to see if it can be reused against him. Hellfire Brew does get reflex blocked, and now a big string of damage is coming out.
Yeah, but again, I mean, the Yummy Catnip Frenzy, all right, there it is with the silence combo. It will actually take down Love Ice Forever again, but they've left Von C into the back. They just rush him down. It's like nobody's business. And Phoenix, can he do it again? Can we hold on long enough? No, he can't take anyone with him. The regen buff is going to come out. There's not going to be a one-shot, one-kill mentality this time. Gold miner for an immense gold payout and the gold lead. Now back into Kinetic's pocket, and 13:37 in. And we're going to have a Kraken coming up soon. If they could take one more fight, sometime in the next minute and a half, we could actually see a Kraken coming down into this lane.
Yeah, there's going to be a one-shot, one-kill from the base just to try and get some extra damage, dissuade them from taking the turret, but it's not quite in time. Love Ice Forever, he is just so far behind right now in terms of items. He's waiting on that Broken Myth, and once he does get that Broken Myth, we've seen it before, that if Vox just completely changes the game once he gets a Broken Myth completed. Will it come out here as they go in with the wait for it, but Love Ice Forever is just taken down immediately.
Yeah, that silence did not matter. 1 and 2, the team is actually now evaporated. Now they kind of left Phoenix in this awkward spot again in a 3v1, and he's just no lost boy Toff. Not today. That's another ace going to Kinetic. And said, if you can win that next fight, you might be able to get a Kraken. Well, they won it before the Kraken even comes down, so they're going to pick themselves up a turret, and this is very much in danger of a 2-0 vacant.
It absolutely is. Love Ice Forever did finish off that Broken Myth, but even with a Broken Myth, your positioning still needs to be on point, and Love Ice Forever just has not looked on point in this series thus far. I'm not sure if it's the nerves or what is going on, but he's just constantly been jumping in and being the front line for this team, and he's been just getting obliterated right off the bat every single fight. So we'll have to see with the Broken Myth. Maybe he'll be able to turn it around now, but you know, Broken Myth, it relies on getting the stacks from being in combat, and if you're getting deleted when the combat starts, you're not going to get those Broken Myth stacks.
And stacks can definitely make or break some of these fights, especially this late game. Here's the 15-minute mark. Kraken is now out and about and ready to go, but we are down several turrets here from Von Menace and a little bit of gold to boot. They were trading as even as they could when the gold lead was either theirs or pretty close to parity, but now 5k down, and this Kraken is just absolutely melting. Love Ice Forever, if you're that far forward, you're gonna get jumped. Here comes the Hellfire Brew as well. It will be reflex block, but still a chunk of damage. One shot, one kill. Here comes the Arden as well, but Love Ice does not exist in these fights. Bonsi is just gonna get out with the skin of his teeth, but the Kraken's unleashed. It was not a steal. Oh my goodness, they nearly caught him there too for the ace. That could have actually been game in a handbasket right there, but now Fear Poseidon and Bonfire, they're just gonna start paving the way, and you know, the number 6 seed, this is our biggest upset I think we've had this qualifier.
Well, we talked about it last game. The biggest upset was number 8 over number 1, with Vanguards taking down Liberation X. But this is massive.
Asterix.
I mean, this is on stream asterisks. But this one is still massive because this is Von Menace, a team that was favorited, honestly, to be in the semifinals, if not the finals for sure. They're actually looking to hold up a defense here. They get Husky Rocks low. There's one shot, one kill. That's going to pick up a second, but they've lost one crystal turret. They will be able to take down the Kraken before it takes another turret, but Von C showing signs of life maybe a bit here, but they need to hope that it's not too little too late at this point.
It's definitely not looking great for them with one turret and then just the crystal, but they do hold and they get a huge gold infusion with that. Koshka going in with that Yummy Catnip Frenzy, it just felt like either she didn't tell her team or the team wasn't entirely too sure what she was doing, because she went in, locked down Love Ice Forever, Ringo got maybe 2 shots of, and then she just got deleted. The rest of the team, like, there was no follow-up, which is what we've been seeing a lot of here from Kinetic. They've been very much on point with their communication, with their execution. That looked very abnormal to them, and losing out 2 kills and the Kraken for it, it's not over yet for Von Menace.
Yeah, they definitely do still have a chance here. And again, they're a very late game team with this composition. Obviously, Kestrel going to be using that armor pierce that is naturally on her abilities to try and get some chunk damage down. Here comes a Hellfire Brew. That will be reflex blocked, but here comes the rest of the team. They got him so low before the fight starts. This is going to be Kinetic looking to end the game. One shot, one kill, not quite enough.
The Gauntlet with one stun and then just kind of disappearing before anything else. Yeah, there's nothing to stop Kinetic from just rushing these guys down, and an ace is going to seal the deal for the game. Tasty Bacon. Kinetic coming out of this as a team that really, at least I was told, has a very uphill battle to do here. Just comes out swinging in 2-0, and they made it look so easy.
Yeah, if it was an uphill battle, this may be a 3-on-3 game, but they look to be riding a 4x4 because they just powered right up that hill and took the series 2-0. Kinetic will be moving on to the semifinals. What a strong and, like you said, almost surprising performance from this team. But absolutely huge congratulations to them. They definitely earned the spot. They put Von Menace out of their element. They, in game number 1 and game number 2, they played in a way that just beat the group up and try and stay together and move as a team strategy that Von is known for. And so then Von tried to get away from it, and they just were not able to. Obviously, we saw Love Ice Forever just really struggling this game. Despite having the most gold on his team, sitting at 0-8-6, just never really got going on this Vox. And again, that's credit to Kinetic. They put everything into just trying to shut him down. They would use the Hellfire Brew onto Von C, and then jump everything else onto Love Ice Forever, and he was just deleted right at the start of fights.
Well, Rome, that was certainly a set of games, sir.
I'm still a little speechless right now, but seeing how Kinetic executed their plan, looking at that first game, they came in, they found a perfect composition to counter that Black Feather. And coming into this game, they played out so well. They knew that with this Catherine, with this Koshka, they're able to dive onto this Kestrel. But the fault here coming out of Team Von's side is, for every single fight, Love Ice Forever on this box was always out of position. He was always standing in the front lines, trying to pretty much take him on by himself. He was running in, dashing in, using up his ultimate, using up that pulse, and the other team would just obliterate him out of that picture. A lot of the team fights coming out of Kinetic, we saw them instigate it with that Ringo's Hellfire Brew, followed up by Koshka and Catherine. They executed it out so well. Going on to this next round, everybody has to hop onto this bandwagon. We saw exactly what kind of potential that they have today. Coming at Seed 6, taking out one of the favorite teams to win the entire tournament. What else can they do, right? They gotta walk into the next match. They will be coming up against Gangstar Sirius this Saturday, and I'm pretty sure with that they do have a plan. A lot of the teams will be looking at this first game they played with that Vox, with that Adagio, and how even with that weapon power Vox, they were able to build an entire kit around him where they pretty much maximize using his abilities from the Wrath of Agent of Wrath. But pass it off to exceptions. You gotta hype up this team. They're gonna make it far, and they've executed out so well for us to watch today.
Yeah, and thank you, Rome. Thank you, Forecourt and Tasty Bacon, for that casting that awesome series. So what that means is now Kinetic is going to go on and move on to the semifinals, and they're going to be facing Gangstar's Sirius. You know, one of the top seeded teams, another one of the top seeded teams from one of the other brackets. And this is looking to be an incredible upset here. Von Menace, I'll tell you, going into this, I expected a quick 2-0 series to go to Von Menace, just like everyone else. And Kinetic just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, but I also wrote a little bit on this that we can find in like a preview article. But we have to look back at how Team Von has played in the past. Especially looking at the first qualifiers where they were up ahead and they threw the game, and after that it just hits them in the head. It messes with their mindset.
Yeah, definitely that can happen.
We also saw the exact same thing at the live championships, where after losing that first game, 2T Tigers just appearing out of nowhere through the night on that sky, they started falling down. They fell down even further. They hit up Gangstar's Vega and they lost to them too. So after the surprise this first game, I'm pretty sure that coming to that second game, they don't have that same synergy towards the team. They don't have that same consistent in terms of how they play effectively. And eventually that cost them the game. And who knows? This is something that they have to work on in the future.
Yeah, definitely something that Vaughn needs to look at. That second game, Love Ice Forever, was really not doing too much, getting taken out really easily, picked off. He had a few good plays. I saw him get a few good reflex blocks off on the Koshka, but it just wasn't enough. The engages weren't there from Vaughn. Kinetic took it to him hard. So, yeah. In closing, I just want to, say thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed the games tonight, and thank you again, Rome. Thank you, Forecourt and Tasty Bacon, for coming in on short notice and doing this off-schedule game with us. And we'll see you next weekend on Saturday for the semifinals, and we'll see who goes to the finals that day.